Everyone knows that there's quite a few characters that are missing from Dokkan, and I don't just mean characters from the show who haven't been added. I mean characters that deserve their own LR but only have lower rarity versions. Obviously, you clicked on this video with a certain character in mind, so make sure to watch the whole video to see where I might put that certain someone. Also, if a unit only has a free-to-play LR, they are still eligible for this list, but I'm not going to fill the list with free units because that would be boring. Now let's get straight into the video. For number 10, I'd say it's a standalone orange Piccolo. I know we have the giant form one, but I want a true orange Piccolo. I want them to keep the same idea where he's like a really good tank, very reliable, and he has some support. I want them to make sure he's included in the Beast Gohan unit super attack, or at least give him his own unit super attack with least Gohan or the Gammas. I also want them to make him like a great support unit, or give him a healing ability of some sort because, you know, Namekians and whatnot. And maybe his active skill could be like a Ghost Usher or a targeting ability, or maybe even a domain when he was fighting with like the Cell Max. That scene could be pretty good. For number 9, I'd say it's LR Whis. A solo LR Whis is obviously going to be a dodge unit. Funnily enough, I think Caulifla's kit suits Whis more than Caulifla. This Whis would probably have 1 or 2 guaranteed dodges before attacking. I think that's completely fair for a Whis unit. I think stacking dodge from supers as well as permanent stacking defense is a good idea. Makes him more viable in you know, Festival of Battles, but also in other stuff. I think the best thing that they can build into his kit are attack breaks or stun. But the attack break would probably come if he had like a unit super with a Beerus, or even like, I don't know, like a Universe 6 like Vados or something. I don't know, I don't think that makes too much sense, but for sure with Beerus, like a unit super attack. And I think the perfect thing they could do with this unit is a revive animation. Now you might think like, oh, Whis never gets hit, but let's just act like, oh, like the world blew up or whatever. The 3-minute rewind, that is literally the perfect way to do a revive skill. Also, you know what else is perfect? Subscribing to the channel, because we're about to hit 10k, so make sure to do that. Now for number 8, it's either an LR transforming Frieza from the Namek Saga or like a transforming Golden Frieza from the Resurrection F movie. The Namek Saga Frieza would start in his base form and go all the way up to his final form, with the full power transformation being an active skill to avoid having too many transformations like the TUR one. Each form would have its own gimmick. The first form would be nothing crazy, but would massively stack attack and defense with built-in additionals to maximize stats. The second form would also do an extra super for every 3 orbs, and as a bonus, I would give him 200% attack if he KOs an enemy, as a reference to what he did to Krillin in the show. And yes, I know Krillin survived, but still, like, that would be pretty cool. And in his third form, I would make him a pure dodge unit that's kind of like a standby, and the final form would have crazy stats, 30% damage reduction, guard, and permanent regular stacking like Kid Goku. The active would just be a stat boost that massively raises attack and turns all attacks into guaranteed crits for the turn, or it could be a domain that turns the field into exploding Namek. The Golden Frieza unit, on the other hand, would have 3 forms, starting with the same first form as the Namek Frieza I just described, and the final form would be a 2-turn standby that's basically invincible and can't attack for its first turn. Each hit received in the standby would also increase Golden Frieza's damage reduction by 10%, up to a total of 70%, like being the cap. And this 70% would also apply once he transforms into Golden form. Golden Frieza would also get guard from 3 orbs or 1 rainbow orb, and would gain a bunch of defense before attacking so that he can be a reliable slot 1. Basically, I made him like a super OP tank because I think super bosses needs help. And yes, I would also give this Frieza the super bosses category because honestly, he deserves it. I mean, I feel like we can all agree that he's technically a super boss. The number 7 pick I have is LR Roshi. He has a free-to-play LR, but like, it got its EZA so quick, it basically just aged him out for no reason. Like, it was completely pointless to EZA him so quick, but that's how they do free-to-play units for some reason. This guy could honestly be the perfect support for the aging Universe 7 team. Basically, I would just make him the best support unit in the game. I would only allow him to super once or twice in a turn, but he would gain a bunch of attack and defense on every hit received, and he would stack up similarly to Daima Goku, except he would start with like 15 million attack stat because, you know, he's an LR, and he would be able to stack all the way up till he hits like a 30 to 40 million attack stat after receiving a certain number of attacks. And this isn't like 5 attacks, this would probably be closer to like over 10 attacks. Or the other way I would design him is kind of like how Beast Gohan gains stats every time he gets hit, but it's just for the turn. Regardless, I mean, I don't make the units, but this would be a pretty cool design in my opinion. It would be more of a slot 3 floater unit, but if the fight starts slow, you can build him up early by putting him in slot 1 to immediately deal more damage. I would also give him guard and maybe like 20% damage reduction, with most of his defense coming post super. Aside from that, I think he's good to go. I just want to make him the best support in the game for either Turtle School or Universe 7 reps, because I would like to keep older teams relevant. Like, they're still a good team, but everyone can tell Universe 7 reps are starting to age, and so are most of the Tournament of Power units that didn't recently get a new unit like Hit or, you know, Kale and Khalifa. Let's just move past that. I'm not here to talk about Universe 6. Well, technically I am though, because number 6 is LR Kefla. Kefla could have gotten an LR recently, but I think Kale and Khalifa are really good anyways, even without the transformation. It would have been cool to see, but I don't think they're a bad unit at all. I think they're actually really good. LR Kefla would obviously be a dodge-centered unit because it's just a tradition at this point. Like, almost every Kefla is designed as a dodge unit. There's no reason to change it. These two are mostly just dodge units. Not really much to say with this fusion, but I would probably give her like a targeting domain with guaranteed dodge for like a turn, obviously, or I would give them like a counter ability, but just for nullifying supers. That way, like, it's less of a coin flip if you survive when you get hit with a super or not. Then number 5, I'd say, is either Cell Saga Trunks or Final Flash Vegeta from, you know, also the Cell Saga, but that would be from his fight with semi-perfect Cell after letting him transform into perfect Cell. The Trunks that transforms would start like as a Super Saiyan 1 Trunks, then he turned into Super Trunks after an animation where he steps out of the hyperbolic time chamber and powers up like crazy. Then Super Trunks would be like a crazy damage dealer for, let's say, 2 or 3 turns. His defense would not be the best, so honestly, like, that 2 or 3 turns could literally be like 1 turn, because he could easily get one shot, kind of like how the GT duo, when they transform into the Super Saiyans, they're supposed to get KO'd so you can get the revive skill, because the whole point of this unit would be to get the KO and then he revives and exchanges into Vegeta. So you know that scene where Trunks gets pierced by Cell's Ki Blast? Vegeta would swap in right after that, and that would be the unit for the rest of the fight pretty much. I think that'd be pretty cool. And the other Cell Saga LR is literally just Super Vegeta when he's doing his massive final flash that almost blows up the earth, because I think that would be like a really cool card. I know we have the TUR, but here we go again, like, we want an LR. For number 4, I need to give a spoiler warning because it's for like the Granola / Moro arc, because, you know, obviously these are units everybody wants and everybody's excited for Dragon Ball Super Part 2. So there's your spoiler warning, but here we go. Firstly, Ultra Ego Vegeta. Obviously this guy is gaining stats from taking hits. Then we got Black Frieza. I mean, I don't really know how to design this guy's kit. All we know is like he's strong as hell. Granola, I'd say he'd probably start out weaker, and he would like receive an awakening, kind of like how Pycon locks in and hate gets serious, except this guy would just be like awakening from the Dragon Balls, and he just gets a massive boost because like he wishes to be strong. Then MUI Goku, I would give him literally a giant form, because you know how he does that? Well, okay, I already gave a spoiler warning. He does like the giant Susanoo, basically on some Naruto type of business, because I don't know, he just did that. So that would be like a cool new giant form we could have in the game. Then I'd say Moro would probably be like one of those units that has multiple forms, maybe even a standby, and I would just probably give him like strong nullification abilities, because he's like really tanky in the manga. I think all these guys deserve proper LRs once they get animated. I know this might be a reach, but like Sleepy Beerus wasn't animated. Yeah, he still got a card, so maybe eventually, if Dragon Ball Super like Part 2 takes way too long, we might see these guys in Dokkan with some completely original animations. I think that'd be cool, but let's not hope too hard, because I don't think that's gonna happen. Number 3 is LR Kid Buu. If anyone deserves an LR, it's this guy. He's literally a main villain, and he still has no LR. He barely even has any good units besides the STR EZA. And no, I'm not talking about Buhan. I'm talking about specifically Kid Buu. Even if he did get an LR and it's just a transformation, I don't really mind, but I'd prefer to have a standalone Kid Buu at this point, because he really needs to have his own identity. I think he'd probably have nullifications for probably maybe non-Ki Blast supers. I'd probably give him like infinite stacking so he could be useful in Festival and like stop him from aging out quickly. If I had to give him like something special, I'd give him like a rage state or an active where, you know, he blows up the whole planet. You know that scene where Vegeta and Goku have to like run away and fly and pick up whoever's most important? Yeah, that one. Moving on now from the obvious Kid Buu that we've been waiting for years, let's talk about something that's kind of expected to come out at one point or another, and that is an LR Goma from Daima, or an LR Majin Ku and Majin Du exchange unit. I think that would be amazing. LR Goma would be cool, but I feel like he's gonna end up like Cell Max for some reason, where they just give him like an odd banner in the middle of the year and don't really make him that good. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I have a feeling that's how it's gonna turn out. He's basically here in number 2 because a new villain team in Dokkan is always like super interesting. Like using a villain team in Dokkan is always such a peak experience because it's like you get to see brand new animations, brand new cohesion on the team. It's fun to use villains, but they never really get the love they deserve. So this guy's up here because a new villain could go crazy. Also, if they make him a transformation, then probably it's just going to be like his weak state, but he's defended by a bunch of henchmen, and once he transforms, he'll be fighting on his own. Also, once he transforms, I would probably give him like crazy defense, but every time he gets 3 hits, he would lose like 20% damage reduction, and he would start with 70% damage reduction. But this debuff of the minus 20% would only be for the turn to like keep him good, because we don't want him losing all his damage reduction. I just want it to be accurate to how he was defeated, right? Like if he's a really good tank, we have to kind of balance him and like make it tactical. The other unit, you know, Majin Ku and Majin Du, I think that would be an amazing exchange unit. They've got a lot of potential to be very interesting and very funny. Think about it. The active would be like chocolate, and it would boost attack and defense by 20% for 4 turns on Majin Du. Or if you pop it with Majin Ku, it would be like a ghost usher for the turn, or guaranteed dodge for like the next 2 turns. Kind of like how Goku's side of LR Gogeta works, but like a little bit different. So their builds would probably be quite similar to Kale and Caulifla, where it's like dodge on Kale and Majin Ku, and then Majin Du, I think the fat one, would be like the slightly more tanky one. And for number 1, it's either SSJ3 Adult Vegeta or the obvious SSJ4 Daima Goku. These two need to either be both standalone LRs or an exchange unit. I think standalone LRs is cooler. I would make SSJ3 Vegeta fix all the mistakes of the other 2 SSJ3 Vegetas that we got recently, and I would make him the leader of SSJ3. Now, you might think like that's kind of a crap leader skill, but there are starting to be a lot of SSJ3 like units, and they're all actually quite decent if they had like one more little bit of a boost, and this Vegeta could be that boost. I would make him like the perfect support, the same way 10th anniversary SSJ4 Goku is like the goated most amazing support. I would make this guy the best support, but literally just for SSJ3 units. That would be like amazing because he could both resurrect Kid SSJ3 Vegeta and the super easy A SSJ3 Vegeta. He could also bring back SSJ3 Goku, like the Angel one, the AGL one, and it would just bring SSJ3 LR Gotenks even more back into the spotlight. But he's still great, it would just make him even better. If they just gave him like a support that buffs defense like crazy, or even gives damage reduction support, he could be nasty. So that's Vegeta. He's the Super Saiyan 3 like GOAT basically in my design. For SSJ4 Daima Goku, on the other hand, I would kind of give him a similar kit to the SSJ4 Full Power GT Goku. I know he's a fraud now, but if we could design this Goku to be a proper slot 1, I would make his standby do like the Dragon Ball wish with Glorio, and his final form would be his adult SSJ4, where he's basically like the best unit in the game. And obviously I'd give him support for Giant 8 power and power bestowed by God, because it's kind of like power bestowed by God. I don't know if the Namekian guy counts, but let's just count them, because why not? Honorable mentions for this list: LR Peppy Gals, just all of them together, make them like a 220 liter. The other honorable mentions are standalone Blue Gogeta or Blue Vegito like units, so no transformation, no nothing, just straight away blue. And then I'd also say Sleepy Beerus deserves a new LR that like is actually really good and summonable. Anyways, there's my list. Let me know in the comments if you've got any of your own ideas for LRs that should be in Dokkan, and feel free to check out some of my other videos that should be on screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching.